morning, Santa Clarita. Welcome in. Buenos dias. Buenos dias. Feliz Cinco de Mayo. Happy Cinco de Mayo to you all. That's right. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 on the AM side. This is SCVi Charter School's Eye in the Valley Homeschooling Answers. I'm Matt Watson, your host. It's good to have you all. If you're joining us on Facebook Live, good to see you again. If you've got your computer or you prefer watching on your phone and you want to go to Facebook Live, you can check us out. Just search KHTS Radio and pull us up. We are the salmon-colored banner there, and there you will find us. This special edition of Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers, is brought to you by KHTS in collaboration with SCVi and iLEAD schools. We come to you live each day at 9 a.m., providing support and updates for you on your distance learning. We're also continually curating and adding new resources for you on our website. So go to homeschoolinganswers.com. Have you checked out that website yet? Homeschoolinganswers.com. I'm sure by this point you're thinking, no, we've hit our stride, we've hit our rhythm. Either your schools are giving you as much as your kids can handle and they're doing great, or you're already supplementing with your own things and you're good, you've hit your stride. But you know what? Head on over there anyways. I think you're going to find something interesting. There's so much, and it's all compartmentalized and curated perfectly so that you go and check by your kid's grade level or by the subject area that you're looking for. You can search, I think it's called the Maker channel, where there's all different kinds of videos and different things for you to take a look at. We've got parenting tips. There's just so much there. I've talked about our Thursday webinar series that we've been running. We're on, I believe, week 3 or 4 right now, and each week after those webinars take place, they get posted. So there's just so much content, and it's neatly packaged for you there. So head on over to Homeschooling Answers, even if you feel like you've got this, and check out the resources that we've got there. Again, I'd like to say it one more time, Feliz Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo is something that we talked about with Big T last Friday. A lot of folks here north of the border confuse it with Mexican Independence Day. It is not Mexico's Independence Day. It's not Mexico's Independence Day today. That is actually in September 16th. 16 de septiembre is their Independence Day, the day they declared their independence from Spain. But, not too many years after that, due to some debt, actually, that they'd gotten into the French invaded, and down in the southern part of central Mexico, in the town of Puebla, there was a battle where 8,000 invading French forces who attacked the town of Puebla, where they were defended by about 4,000 Mexican troops who were actually very poorly armed. Some of them only had farming tools and things like that to defend themselves. But, they, due to their tenacity, even though they were outnumbered 2-1, they were able to defeat the supposedly superior French troops. And, if they can do that, then we can defeat this COVID thing. And then next Cinco de Mayo, you and I and our engineer Shane, who's in here in the studio with me, and a few friends, we can all get together and we can share a case of Corona the good way. Si se puede, right? So, we've got a great show today. We are waiting on Mayor Cameron Smyth. He is our first guest today. And, as politicians get mayors and governors and presidents and other leaders, they get busy and things pop up and that they've got to attend to. And so he should be coming on here pretty soon. So we're just kind of hanging out waiting for him. So
I think he actually big-timed us, Matt. I think it finally happened.
No. Cameron would not do that to me. No. So yeah, we're waiting on him to call in. So if you've got questions for the mayor, please go ahead and post them in the Facebook Live feed. Again, if you head over to Facebook and you check out our Facebook Live feed. Are we up yet, Shane?
Oh, yeah, we're up and running.
Okay.
We've got the usual feed. We're just missing our usual mayor, unfortunately.
That's fine. I just need to refresh my screen. There I am. It's always, if you're on Facebook Live and you see me looking down at my screen, yes, I am that vain that what I like to do is during the show, I like to just stare at myself here on the screen. It's a good reminder for me to suck it in.
Your laptop sound is on.
Thanks, Shane.
It's okay. Breaking the fourth wall a little bit. I tried to use the nonverbal communication, but
He's tapping on his headphones.
Continue on, man.
Fantastic. Yeah, so if you were hearing an echo, yes, it was echoing here in the studio. So, yeah, we should be having our mayor on here anytime now. So if you've got questions for him, go ahead and post them in the Facebook Live feed, and we will get to them as soon as he's on here. Of course, we've always got a couple of questions for him, and you know that we love to play around with the mayor, so we'll be doing that. A little bit later in the show, we've got Director of iLEAD Online, Erin Jones, along with the program coordinator of that same program, that same school, actually, Kate Wolfe. They'll be joining us, and they're going to be talking to us about Track C Summer School. So it's called Track C, and they're always very clear with me about that. But every time they start talking about Track C, I start thinking about summer school. So if you're thinking about summer school, you're going to want to tune in. We've got our next senior spotlight coming up. Tyler Nilson from Saugus High School is going to be joining us. That's where we honor seniors from our area high schools during this time that should be an exciting one for them, except for this darn pandemic, and so we're holding space for some of these great seniors that are graduating out there. You're all great, and we've only got time to get one person on per day, so we're going to be talking to Tyler a little bit later on today. And of course, we've got our friend and official licensed marriage and family therapist, Christina Debray. She's going to be joining us. After the show yesterday, she did correct us. I keep telling you to head on over to Christina's website, say, Christina spelled with a K, Debray spelled the French way, and we closed the show yesterday, and she says, Matt, it's Dutch. So regardless, it's spelled D-E-B-R-E-E. But we'll get to that later on in the show. So let's do this. Vámonos. Again, it is Cinco de Mayo. Feliz Cinco de Mayo. And one thing that it's also, we're celebrating something all week long. Okay, we're celebrating moms on Sunday. So don't forget about that, right? Don't forget about mom. Man, it's tough enough that, if you're around my age, grandmas are having a hard time not being able to see their grandkids with social distancing restrictions. And by the way, speaking in parentheses yesterday, did you hear Governor Newsom announced we're moving into phase 2? And I was sharing that as soon as he finished with his speech yesterday, my son walked out of his room, and I said, hey Pars, did you hear the governor said we're shifting into phase 2? He says, man, I didn't even feel it. So yeah, we're moving into phase 2, and we'll be talking about that with the mayor a little bit. Sounds like our beaches in limited sense are going to start to open up. We'll get some more retailers, and yeah.
And Matt, going into phase 2, it seems like a reopening is coming sooner rather than later in terms of just the country in general, with schools. Now, I know, forgive me for not using the proper terminology, but head of education in the United States, whatever his term is, he came out with an announcement early on in the spread of the pandemic and said, schools are canceled for the rest of the year. Nothing else. We're not going back to campus. With the reopenings coming in, do you imagine a scenario where for the fall semester, students are able to return to campus?
So, yeah, we've talked about that with several of our guests. And that was handled at a statewide level. So you're talking about the state superintendent.
Yeah.
He announced that we're closing schools. And there's been talk about, there's some folks have even talked about starting schools earlier, so that we can close that gap and get kids on the line and working. But I don't see a scenario where we're going to start early. I think we're probably going to start on time, maybe even a couple of weeks late. But it'll probably be on some sort of adjusted schedule where kids are not packed into the same class altogether. So it'll probably have to be distanced.
I've heard about that. Kind of a staggered 3 hours at a time for a portion of the class, 3 hours for the next portion.
Yep.
But I think we have a more official source for that question. I think we have a mayor on the line.
Fantastic. So, Shane, do we want to do a couple minutes with the mayor and then go to commercial? Or should we go to commercial now and
Let's go to commercial now. Hang tight, listeners. We are coming right back in just a couple minutes, and we'll get you your regularly scheduled dosage of mayor.
Fantastic. Post your questions on the Facebook Live feed, and we will get them to Mayor Cameron Smyth. We'll be talking to him once we come back from commercial. You are listening to SCVi Charter Schools Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. I'm your host, Matt Watson, on your hometown station, KHTS.
My tile is 20 years old and it makes my house look 20 years old.
For quality, custom kitchen, bath, and tile, trust the professionals at Southern California Tile.
Hi, I'm Bob of Southern California Tile, and I invite you to come look at the wide selection of tile and stone at our showroom. We offer you personalized one-on-one service and help you see the many beautiful possibilities for improving your home.
Get some style at Southern California Tile.
In Plaza Rita, by the entrance to Masters College.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
We salute our veterans who sacrificed for our freedom.
Santa Clarita veteran Bill Reynolds.
Each week, we share an inspirational story of a local veteran on our Hometown Heroes page at hometownstation.com, thanks to our good friends at Eternal Valley.
I'm Richard Nunnally, General Manager of Eternal Valley Memorial Park and Mortuary. We believe taking care of each other is what community is all about. We're proud to bring you the stories of our hometown heroes.
Eternal Valley, life well celebrated.
MB2 Raceway, fast, high-performance kart racing at LA County's only indoor electric kart racing facility, and you're the superstar driver. Motocross legend and DEI driver Ricky Carmichael and Team Andretti Green's Brian Herta race in MB2 when they're not fighting it out for world championships, and so can you. MB2 Raceway, located between San Fernando and Santa Clarita Valleys, where the 5, the 210, and the 14 freeways meet in Sylmar. It's MB2 Raceway. Dial 1-866-986-RACE. That's 1-866-986-RACE. MB2 Raceway, where racers race.
There's a very good reason Embrace Your Smile has been voted Santa Clarita's #1 orthodontist for 10 years in a row.
Honestly, it's our team.
Dr. Megan LaCornu.
I think for me, what makes it stand out is when I have patients that come up to me and say, we have never been in a doctor's office that feels like this. Our team is a family, and we really get along, and we are really passionate about what we do, helping our patients get the smiles they want and deserve.
Dr. Megan LaCornu of Embrace Your Smile Orthodontics.
Embrace your smile.
EmbraceYourSmile.com.
As the stay-at-home order continues, Burger King is committed to following state and federal safety guidelines when it comes to serving you, the customer. Although in-restaurant dining has closed, pickup and delivery service continues. The current hours are 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. You can mobile order through the BK app for pickup, or you can use any of the delivery services like DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, and Postmates. Burger King on Lyons at the 5 freeway, now with service at 2 drive-through windows.
Your building sign is essential to getting customers to your location. Feathers can help you get your business noticed. Feathers, now in a new, larger space with plenty of parking. They walk you through each phase of your project with special attention to detail and quality. Feathers will provide you with a sign that you can be proud of. Your sign will draw customers in instead of having them drive by. Visit Feathers online at feathersigns.com or go to Feathers' brand new, bigger location at 26017 Huntington Drive off Rye Canyon, or call 298-9442.
Your hometown station.
KHTS is the only station I listen to.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
And welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is SCVi Charter Schools Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. I am Matt Watson, your host, and we are back. We have got Mayor Cameron Smyth on the line. So again, we've got a brief conversation we're going to be having with him, and then if you've got questions for the mayor, please go right ahead and post those on our Facebook live feed. So let's do this. Let's, without further ado, well, before we get to the mayor, I'd just like to welcome my mother to the show. You know, she won't admit it, but she's certainly tuning in right now. My first guest is perfectly topical for the day. You know, it's Cinco de Mayo, and Mayor Cameron Smyth's great-great-great-grandfather was one of those 4,000 victorious troops in Puebla that fateful day in 1862 that we just talked about. That's right. Jose Maria Blanco Smyth hailed from the nearby town of San Andres Cholula. Shortly after Mexico's defeat and the installment of the French Emperor Maximilian I, Smyth decided to move north to Santa Clarita in hopes of getting involved in the representative government up here. While he was unsuccessful in local politics, he was, however, one of the members of the Los Angeles Sheriff's Posse who located and captured Tiburcio Vasquez. It was also Jose Maria's son, Carlos Smyth, who officially anglicized the surname that we all know and recognize, becoming Charlie Smyth. But it wasn't for another 3 generations that Jose Maria's dreams would become realized when Clyde Smyth was elected to the City Council of Santa Clarita Santa Clarita in 1994. And the dynasty was solidified just 6 years later when his great-great-great-grandson Cameron was elected to that same position in 2000. He has since served 4 terms as our mayor, as well as a term in the California Assembly and on countless foundation and other boards. Mayor Smyth, welcome to the show. It's good to have you.
I appreciate the family history lesson. I just thought that my great-great-grandfather was tracked down Pancho Villa. So, that was, I didn't know that we went even deeper than that.
I'm sketchy a little bit on my research. I might have missed that detail, but I just tried to keep it a little bit local.
So, and the picture of my said ancestor, it's part of the Pennsylvania Regiment, cavalry in the Civil War. So he was actually doing, so that obviously was another line of the Smyth clan that I needed to learn about.
Absolutely, you're quite prolific here in this country, you and your family members. So I know you've had a busy morning and you've got a lot to juggle, both as a public and private official. So thank you for joining us. We appreciate you having you in, Cameron. Now I want to ask, do you go by the anglicized Cameron or is it actually Cameron?
Well, no, I stick with the Anglicization.
Okay, okay. It's been so many generations. Yeah. I get it.
It is.
So
it is. I don't want to be confused with Cameron.
Okay. I see. Right.
Yes.
Now, last week you promised us our first installment of Cameron Smyth's Sports Chronicles, telling the tales of your incredible athletic career. You've already told us about the tragedy of being denied by a technicality the opportunity to chase your older brother's mid-hurdling record. Whether it's on Valencia Boulevard or in Sacramento or in high school athletics, it's all politics. But what have you got for us today? Perhaps a tale of better days? Anything you want to share from your athletic career?
So let's see. So I guess I'll go with. I can't do my Al Bundy 4 touchdowns in one game, Polk High. So I will say that I was Hart High School's first all-CIF boys volleyball player. So that's a little bit of trivia there. So while I don't hold, didn't get, was denied the school record. I do at least hold the distinction of being the first all-CIF boys volleyball player at Hart. So I'll take that.
There you go. And, when you score the most points or the most touchdowns or you run the fastest time, that's something that for eternity somebody else can beat. But being the first, no one will ever take that away from you.
It's like people had approached me in years past about, Santa Clarita should be like other communities and establish our own kind of athletic Hall of Fame, given the number of professional and Olympian, and amazing athletes that have come out of this valley. And I said I'd be happy to do it as long as the standard was low enough that I could get in. So
there we go.
And then they disappeared after that, so I don't know.
Well, we'll see if we can scratch up some support for that here.
Correct.
Pretty soon.
We'll see how desperate people want to be part of this. Or if they're just going to wait till I leave the city council and then go after.
Right. So get it started with founding member Bill Miranda. There we go.
They're going to try to exactly. They're just going to try to run out the clock on me.
Okay. Well, great. Well, now that we've got you on the phone, we may as well get an update. So you saw yesterday in the news, Governor Newsom is moving us into phase 2, and with the earth shuddered just a little bit, and so we're getting updated around the state. So what's going on around our city, whether it's corona or non-corona related? What can you share with us today?
Sure. So I think the big question mark within not only the Santa Clarita Valley but Los Angeles County, is the governor's order yesterday. Again, while albeit pretty small steps, do put the county and state in conflict over reopening the reopening orders, because as the governor has said, and the law is clear, the governor has the authority to establish a statewide standard. He uses kind of the reference overlay. So what the governor has in place in terms of openings, social gatherings, essential businesses, all of that is the baseline for California. What local jurisdictions, and predominantly counties in this case, have the authority to be more restrictive than what the baseline is, but you can't be less restrictive. And so we're in a situation come Friday where the governor has made these steps public that in California some businesses can start doing, can start expanding. Well, that's in direct conflict with the Los Angeles County order that remains in place until May 15th. So the question is going to be asked how, and I think that's where confusion is going to surface, is what is appropriate here in Santa Clarita. And if businesses are taking steps to be in compliance with the state order, well, does that mean that they are still out of compliance with the county, and the county could then still come in and shut those businesses down or prevent them from opening because LA County has a more restrictive policy in place than the state, and that is allowable. So that's where we're going to start having conflicts. And it's not just in Los Angeles County, the Bay Area and others. When you have a state order, but then the county can be more restrictive, you're going to have these orders that are in conflict.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned last week about the possibility of local municipalities, local cities being given the autonomy to make decisions, especially in counties as large as Los Angeles. Have you heard anything back from that? Is there any word, any indication that you may end up getting that decision put in your hands?
So I would say stay tuned, but I've been encouraged just in the last 24 hours to see Laguna Beach and San Clemente reach an agreement with the state in terms of operation and opening of their specific beaches. There has been a little bit of a precedent where individual communities are being able to negotiate their own agreements with the oversight agencies. Certainly, those cities had to lay out a plan for the state and to demonstrate their ability to remain in compliance with the state order. But again, as you start looking at the data, particularly here in Santa Clarita, and you cross-reference it with the rest of Los Angeles County, you can see that of the Santa Clarita is really accounting for right around 1%, if not less, within the city limits of the overall or daily tracking for Los Angeles County as a whole. And again, so those are just, I'm looking at numbers specific to the city. Mm-hmm. We are certainly seeing over the last several days a significant spike within the Santa Clarita Valley, but it's been very localized into Val Verde, which, if you know Val Verde, it does kind of make sense that you would see a spike because that's such a insulated, small community, isolated, and it's very easy for that to transmit given the topography and the nuance of that community. And so when you're seeing these spikes in the Santa Clarita Valley over the last several days, they are almost exclusively isolated to Val Verde. And in fact, on yesterday's numbers, the Valley saw a total of 33 new reported cases. 29 of those were in Val Verde.
Oh, gosh. Wow, you're absolutely right. It is such a small and kind of insulated community, but it's a beautiful community that invites people to come out, and it was built for people to gather together. And so, gosh, stay safe, stay protected, folks. Now, yesterday, as part of his announcement, Governor Newsom announced that as part of moving into this phase 2, that some retailers would be allowed to reopen as early as this Friday, just a couple days from now. Do you have any idea? Have you had a chance to look to see how that's going to affect our city? Is that going to have a huge impact, or do you know?
No. And when you read it, it's quite frankly, it's going to have a nominal impact, because all the order is allowing is for some retail to open for curbside pickup. And so while it's good that that some clothing and floral and book stores are starting to open, you find the positive in any order to allow people to go back to work, but it's not as though you can go into a florist shop to purchase flowers for Mother's Day this weekend. You can order them, and then you have to. They have to be available for curbside. But I admit I find it's a little bit contradictory, given if I can go into my local grocery store and pick up flowers for Mother's Day, or if I can go to Walmart and walk into a Walmart or Target and pick up my sporting goods, whether fishing rod or baseball bat or something. It doesn't totally make sense to me that if I wanted to do that at Dick's Sporting Goods or Valencia Florists, I have to call and pick it up curbside.
Yeah.
You can do that. But again, you find the positive in all of it, but I don't see it having any, marketed increase, because, again, I'm not sure if those businesses will be allowed to actually open in the Santa Clarita Valley or anywhere in Los Angeles County, given the county order is still in place.
Yeah, the county may step in and say, no, you don't. Wow. Okay, they're certainly interesting times. You and I talked about it when we first said hello this morning. Those thoughts of a relaxing and easy year as mayor just went out the window back in February, didn't they?
That's it did. And that's okay. A lot of people when people run for office, they say, I'm the right person to make for when you make those tough decisions, and not too often people have to make those tough decisions. But clearly, myself and the rest of the council are serving at a time where difficult decisions have to be made. And fortunately, we have a great city staff that has made good decisions for our community over the years with the council in terms of budgeting and staffing, and we're prepared to meet the challenge. Doesn't mean everyone's going to like the decisions we make. Certainly, just take one look at some of the comments on the social media, but I knew that going in, and that's part of the job. And thankfully, again, we have a great community here, and you can see the fact that over the last you see the data from the last 2 months that has shown our efforts to stay at home, to wear facial coverings, to socially distance, have really paid off when it comes to stabilizing the number of positive tests in the city, the precipitous decline in hospitalizations over the last 2 weeks. All of that shows that the work we're doing is paying off.
Now, you mentioned our city staff and how you've made great budgeting decisions, and you set me up perfect for the next one. I was reading a story over the weekend about the city of Santa Monica announcing that they're going to be cutting nearly 500 jobs related to the slowdown and decrease in tax revenue. How are things going up here? Have you had to cut any jobs at the city level, or do you foresee plans to do so?
So first of all, it's amazing when you look at a city of Santa Monica that has a population of about 50,000 people within the city, and they have over 2,000 employees. Comparing to so the number of employees that Santa Monica is laying off is greater than the entire city workforce in Santa Clarita.
Okay.
Now, some of that is due to Santa Monica having their own fire department, their own police department that we don't have. But Fortunately, the only real cuts, if you'd say, we've had to do are in relation to our city's parks and rec programs, because we're not moving forward with any of our spring sports. We have had to not hire some of our part-time staff that are there to do the refereeing and the field support. So we may see some impact in that, particularly if we expand our stop on city programs into the summer. Then that could extend a little bit. But when it comes to expected core city services, fortunately, we are in a good place that we've been able to absorb the budget hits for now without any impact to staff. But certainly, if this continues and we see another 60 days of, which I don't anticipate, but the longer this goes on, the greater the strain it puts on all of our public budgets, and the decisions become more difficult that are going to have to be made. But at this point, we are in good position. We're able to absorb the hits we're looking at now without any real significant impact to city services or employees.
That is good to hear. Now, we've got a couple of questions from our listeners coming in. Mayor Smyth, I'm sure you're aware that there's a protest of the stay-at-home order scheduled for this afternoon here in Santa Clarita. Listener Susan wants to know what you think of the protests.
So I would answer it. It's a pretty easy answer to me. I support the First Amendment, full stop. And whether that is an issue whether people are protesting an issue that I am in support of their efforts, oppose, or if they are protesting me specifically or decisions that I have made, I believe wholeheartedly in the First Amendment, and as long as people are following the rules and are assembling peaceably and aren't blocking traffic or impeding others, I support anybody's right to make their voices heard, particularly around the positions taken by their government. I think that's a fundamental tenet of our founding and of our Constitution. And whether people are protesting me or protesting something that I support, or I share their protest, it doesn't matter. I support the First Amendment, and if people want to rally peaceably and make their voices heard, I will support that effort 100%, regardless of the issue. Freedom of speech is not freedom from speech, and I think that people have the right to make their voices known. Full stop.
Fantastic, and we do have one more, so thank you for that. Folks have been asking about the concerts in the park this summer. You know how important that is to our
Sure.
community, but that's an event where folks are literally stacked on top of each other oftentimes. So do you know what's happening? Have you had a chance to discuss that with city staff? And any ideas what's happening with the concerts in the park?
So I would say no final decision has been made, but I would also agree with your comments and most others that it's hard for me to imagine a scenario where we would feel comfortable, or the state or county or any public health officials would feel comfortable allowing large gatherings of 5,000, 10,000 people that we get at our concerts, for that to be given the green light. And quite frankly, even if it were, I don't know how many residents would really be comfortable attending.
Sure.
Themselves, on top of that. I think you're seeing some of that with in other parts of the country where businesses are starting to reopen. It's still a slow progress of residents or individuals not really ready to go to. Even if a restaurant is open, there are people that are saying, I'm just not quite ready yet. And I think we would probably see that with our concerts and others. But we haven't made any decisions on our city's summer programming, which includes our youth and adult sports, our concert series. But that decision will be made pretty quick here. But at this point, like I said, it's hard for me to see the governor saying that that as early as July that it will allow for large gatherings. I think by then we'll be able to have small group gatherings, but in terms of something of the size of a concert in the park, I think that'll be probably a little bit too heavy of a lift to expect at this point. But again, no final decisions have been made, and I think we'll be making those very soon.
Well, terrific. Thank you for that. Mayor Smyth, we appreciate your time. Unfortunately, we do have to bump you. We've got a VIP on the line, Tyler Nilson from Saugus High School. You know, he's a graduating senior. He's calling in, and we're highlighting him today. But we do appreciate you stopping by. We'll talk to you next week.
You got it. Thanks, Matt.
Be well.
See you guys.
We're going to take another quick commercial break. When we come back, we've got Tyler Nilson from Saugus High School. You're listening to SCVi Charter Schools Eye on the Valley Homeschooling Answers. I'm Matt Watson on your hometown station, KHTS.
Yes, Dunkin' is open. The continued stay-at-home orders have been rough on all of us, but Dunkin' is trying to make things just a little bit better. There are many ways to get your Dunkin' fix. You can carry out at both locations, or you can drive through at Canyon Country, or get curbside service at the Bouquet Canyon Dunkin'. Both offer Grubhub and Postmates delivery and are open till 6 p.m. Don't forget, use your Dunkin' app for On the Go to order, pay, and accumulate points. Dunkin' cares about the SCV. Town Cleaners on Soledad is offering free dry cleaning for all first responders and medical personnel. Free pickup and delivery is also available. Call Mo at 250-1542. 250-1542. Town Cleaners on Soledad.
The minute I open my door, Debbie Morris has a problem. I say, oh my gosh. A really big problem. The dog, the cat, my 3-year-old. Debbie's house is a mess. How can one family create this disaster? Debbie needs Made for You. I need help. Professional residential and commercial cleaning, locally owned. You choose the schedule, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, or even one-time seasonal cleaning. Call 255-2922. That's 255-2922. Made for You. Made for You rescued me.
As the stay-at-home order continues, Burger King is committed to following state and federal safety guidelines when it comes to serving you, the customer. Although in-restaurant dining has closed, pickup and delivery service continues. The current hours are 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. You can mobile order through the BK app for pickup, or you can use any of the delivery services like DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, and Postmates. Burger King on Lyons at the 5 Freeway, now with service at 2 drive-through windows.
At iLEAD Agua Dulce, we believe the most important thing a child can learn in school is who they are. Life's real tests are never standardized, which is why we've developed an individual-based curriculum that values exploration, cooperation, and creativity. As our learners grow, so do we. Our tuition-free charter school is currently enrolling grades TK through 7th and adding 8th grade in 2020. Your young learner will be immersed in a unique environment where possibility and self-discovery are at the core of every experience. The Agua Dulce campus features beautiful indoor and outdoor spaces for hands-on inspiration, including a robotics lab, a garden bed, a greenhouse, and a technology-based exploratorium. iLEAD Agua Dulce is conveniently located on the east side of the Santa Clarita Valley, just off the 14 freeway. Check out our homeschool options too. To schedule a campus tour or learn more about our programs, visit iLEADAguadulce.org. We're enrolling now. iLEAD Schools. Free to think, inspired to lead.
Your hometown station, KHTS.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 on the AM side. This is Matt Watson, and you're listening to Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. You know, spring semester is so important for our high school seniors, and it's been well documented how much of a shaft they are getting this semester. And so we at Eye on the Valley want to honor our seniors by spotlighting a few of them from our local high schools over the next couple of months. Today we're joined by Tyler Nilson, senior from Saugus High School. Good morning, Tyler. How are you?
Good morning, Matt. I'm doing well.
Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? How long have you lived in Santa Clarita? What are some of your interests? Who is Tyler Nilson?
All right. So as you mentioned, I'm a senior at Saugus High School, and I've honestly loved it there. I've lived in Santa Clarita, moving around within the valley for pretty much my entire life. And I have tons of different hobbies. I try to stay as involved as possible. I like to get out and run when I can, and I'm pretty involved in my school. So I have 4 little brothers, and I love my family.
Oh, fantastic. So as you're drawing toward the end of your high school career here, what are some of your most memorable experiences at school?
I've been involved in ASB and cross country. So ASB is like our student government program. And I definitely say the memories that I've made within those activities have been some of my most memorable. Just things like putting together rallies and dances, and things like going on trips to New York and Utah to race in XC Invitational. Have been really, really exciting.
Very cool, very cool. Now, Tyler, you and I were talking about it before. You've got some pretty cool plans after graduation. What are you planning on doing next year?
I plan on attending a 4-year university, and hopefully after that I will be able to serve a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and eventually go to medical school.
Very cool, medical school. Have you decided on a school for next year, or what are some of the offers that you're looking at right now?
I'm pretty close to deciding. It's a little bit complicated with my situation, but it's
I won't force you to make an announcement.
Yeah, it's between Harvard and BYU.
Harvard and BYU. You could do a lot worse than that. Congratulations. Either way you go, that is fantastic.
Thank you.
And then you said you're planning on going to medical school following that. Planning on any specific area of medicine that you plan on going into?
Not exactly, but I'm sure as I go throughout education and learn more, I'll be able to figure out what's right for me.
Fantastic. All right, are you ready, Tyler? It is graduation night, and I'm crowning you valedictorian right now. You've got the microphone for the next 60 seconds. What do you want to say to your family, your friends, your teachers, classmates? Go.
I'm super grateful for all the opportunities that I've had over the last 4 years at Saugus, and even more grateful for all the people who have mentored me, who have been my friends, and who have been good examples to me throughout that time. I've had so many great experiences, and I'm extremely grateful for Saugus. And regardless of all of the struggles that we've had, particularly over the last year, I wouldn't change it for anything in the world.
Wow, if you've had a hand in mentoring Tyler, you've done an amazing job, because clearly he's a terrific young man with a phenomenal future. Tyler, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it, and congratulations on your graduation, bud.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Of course. It's time for us to check local news and national news and latest updates. Stick around. When we come back, we've got information about Track C Summer School for you. And for more information on how COVID-19 is affecting our area, go to hometownstation.com and click on the red banner. You're listening to SCVi Charter School's Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers, with your host, Matt Watson, on your hometown station, KHTS.
The best live theater can be found right here in the Santa Clarita Valley. The Canyon Theater Guild has been entertaining audiences for decades with top quality musicals and plays. Located on Main Street in Old Town Newhall, CTG also offers workshops for the young actor in your family. For more information, call the box office at 799-2702 or go online to canyontheater.org.
Great healthcare just got easier and more convenient in Canyon Country. Facey Canyon Country is now open directly off the Soledad Canyon exit off the 14 freeway. The 37,000 square foot clinic houses Facey Medical Group primary care physicians, pediatricians, and specialists. Facey has easy 24/7 online appointment scheduling for PCPs and PEDS. For more information or to make an appointment, visit facey.com. That's FACEY.com.
Hi, this is Bob Schertz with the Way Out Recovery SCV, reminding you that during these unprecedented times, addiction and mental health do not take a break. If you or someone you love are struggling, please give us a call at 661-296-4444. We are open and here to help you during this time. Thanks.
Power Automotive is open for you during these challenging times. They've taken extra precautions to keep their employees and customers safe. What makes Power Automotive different? They offer a 2-year, 24,000-mile warranty on all their repair services, all makes and models, autos, trucks, diesels, and even RVs. Mention KHTS and get 20% off parts. Power Automotive, on Soledad between Whites Canyon and Sierra Highway, behind Denny's. Power Automotive will show you why they've been voted Santa Clarita's #1 repair shop for the last 18 years.
He broke records and piloted the F-18 Super Hornet in combat. Answering our nation's call, he served with honor. Then Mike Garcia returned home to his family, to a far worse California from where he grew up. Now, Garcia's next mission: cut taxes, clean up homelessness in our cities. With California on the brink, we need a fighter to answer the call once again. Mike Garcia for Congress.
I'm Mike Garcia, and I approve this message.
As the stay-at-home order continues, Burger King is committed to following state and federal safety guidelines when it comes to serving you, the customer. Although in-restaurant dining has closed, pickup and delivery service continues. The current hours are 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. You can mobile order through the BK app for pickup, or you can use any of the delivery services like DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, and Postmates. Burger King on Lyons at the 5 freeway, now with service at 2 drive-through windows.
You might not know the difference between a fade, a pompadour, a cropped fringe, or faux mohawk, but the Sport Clips Guy Smart stylists sure do. We know you don't think about haircuts 24/7. That's Sport Clips' job. That's why Sport Clips specializes in haircuts for men and boys. Sport Clips has turned something you have to do into something you want to do. You don't ever need an appointment at Sport Clips, and you'll walk out feeling like an MVP. Guaranteed. Sport Clips at the Santa Clarita location nearest you.
KHTS AM 1220 and 98.1 FM Santa Clarita. It's 10 o'clock. Time for national news on KHTS.
The president's still rooting for reopening. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Trump speaking to reporters this morning before heading to a Honeywell plant in Arizona.
We're going to build the greatest economy in the world again, and it's going to happen pretty fast.
But he acknowledges the concern about some states beginning to ease restrictions before meeting all of the White House guidelines, including declining numbers of coronavirus cases for 2 weeks.
I have given them great discretion. I respect the governors, and I've given them great discretion. If, however, I see somebody doing something that's egregious or wrong, I will stop it in 2 seconds.
He's also downplaying a leaked FEMA memo with much higher potential numbers of deaths in the U.S., saying that doesn't include ongoing mitigation efforts. Johns Hopkins University appears to be echoing that in a statement just released, saying the information that leaked included preliminary results to be used in scenario planning, not to be used as forecasts, and illustrating that there are some scenarios likely to cause significant increases in COVID-19 cases and deaths, including the premature relaxing of social distancing. The actual numbers are bad enough.
Number of total hospitalizations is 9,600. That is a lower number than yesterday, barely. It's basically flat.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo remains cautious about reopening in the U.S. epicenter of the outbreak. Statewide, almost 25,000 deaths, including over 4,800 nursing home deaths in New York. A new total that includes presumed cases not confirmed before the resident died. And nationwide, the virus has now claimed more than 69,000 lives. Worldwide, more than 3.6 million cases, and Britain now has more deaths than anywhere else in Europe, surpassing Italy with more than 29,400 lives lost, second only to the U.S. toll. America is listening to Fox News.
Time's running out to win $5,000 a week for life from Publishers Clearinghouse. Enter now at PCH.com and you could win $5,000 a week, week after week, for life. Don't miss your chance to win, because $5,000 a week for life is ready to be awarded on June 30th. Enter at PCH.com before it's too late. That's PCH.com. Better hurry if you want the next big winner to be you. Enter now at PCH.com. Entries due 6/25. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited.
I've always wanted to learn another language, so I decided to give Babbel a try, and I really like the teaching method of the app. I started with the beginner lesson on Babbel, and soon you're putting words into a conversation. Each lesson takes about 10 to 15 minutes, and they're all really different, which keeps things interesting. I can't wait to use my Spanish skills in real life. Dos cervezas, por favor.
Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com or download the Babbel app. That's BABBEL.com.
Retail stores considered low risk can begin to reopen this Friday in California.
For small business owners, it started with a decision by Governor Gavin Newsom, who is moving to slowly reopen the economy.
When I heard the word florist, I got so excited. I ran over there, got everything prepped. I'm getting flowers. We're making arrangements. It's on.
That's Angela Edelmeyer, the owner of a flower shop. Her customers will no longer walk into her store.
We have the advantage that we can place all the arrangements outside. We have the distance, we have the register, we have everything so that there is minimal contact.
Other businesses like book, clothing, toy, and sporting goods stores can head back to work later this week, following the guidelines the governor is expected to release on Thursday. CJ Papa, Fox News.
At least 3 counties had already started to reopen in recent days in defiance of the governor's extended stay-home orders. Meantime, Connecticut becomes the latest state to keep schools closed for the rest of the school year, joining 46 other states plus D.C. But one Alabama high school is planning an actual graduation ceremony with special accommodations.
The high school in Saraland, Alabama, outside Mobile, says graduation day is on for May 21st. While many schools across the nation have canceled graduation ceremonies due to coronavirus fears or have held online events, Saraland says they will have a 6-hour-long event in which 20 students at a time will be allowed in with some family to walk the stage and get their diploma. The school will even have a drive-through cap and gown pickup. The school's Facebook page shows plenty of comments from students and parents expressing both gratitude and excitement. Eben Brown, Fox News.
Wall Street's rallying. The Dow's been up over 300 points, back over 24K. The S&P and the NASDAQ also rising more than 1%. I'm Lisa Brady, and this is Fox News.
Thanks for listening to KHTS AM 1220, Canyon Country, California. K260CO 98.1 FM, Santa Clarita, California.
These days, it's hard to figure out how to fill all the self-isolation time, let alone figure out what to have for lunch or dinner. Salt Creek Grill owner Greg Amsler is helping us out in a big way. Salt Creek is now offering takeout and curbside pickup, so you don't even have to get out of your car. Now, if you'd like, you could stay at home. They participate with Uber Eats, Postmates, DoorDash, and Grubhub. Their entire menu is available for pickup or delivery, including to-go beer and wine. Hey. In addition, Greg's offering wine at 25% off, along with daily specials. If you'd like to buy a gift card for a future visit, now's the time. Buy a $50 gift card and get $10 extra on the card completely free. Buy a $100 gift card, you get an extra $25. Salt Creek Grill, located next to Regal Cinema at the Valencia Mall. For more info, go to saltcreekgrill.com.
Finding the right lawyer can be a challenge, but in Santa Clarita, there's no need to search when there's Hacker Law Group, Santa Clarita's premier litigation firm. Jeffrey Hacker has represented celebrities, financial institutions, accident victims, and other individuals and companies with their legal challenges. Mr. Hacker has been ranked the 15th most influential person in the entire Santa Clarita Valley in 2010 by the Santa Clarita Valley Business Journal. When everything is on the line, call the Hacker Law Group.
Aloha, friends. Go check out Honu Coffee, home of the best cold brew coffee. What makes their coffee special is how their organic coffee beans are infused with nitrogen to create a smooth and delicious cup of coffee. You'll also find traditional bold coffees and island-inspired signature drinks. They're the perfect place to catch up with friends or just relax with your favorite cup of joe. Honu Coffee on Lyons and Walnut in Newhall. Stop by and say aloha.
And now for your convenience, a second Honu location at 23502 Lyons Avenue between Peachland and Apple.
Hi, son. Can you help me back up this truck into the Dutton Plumbing warehouse?
Hold it. Turn off the truck. What's going on?
Well, I was watching the news.
Uh-oh.
And I heard we should stock up on supplies. So I just bought a whole truckload of toilet paper for us.
Mom, we don't need this much toilet paper. This receipt says 100 cases. We'll never use that much.
I think we will when the Senior Ladies Club goes out for Taco Tuesdays and they can really tear it up.
Now I can't unsee that. How about if we just share all the toilet paper with our customers?
Maybe something like call now and get a roll of Dutton Plumbing toilet paper for just $73.
Maybe that would work better if we threw in a free drain clearing, Mom?
DuttonPlumbing.com. Get a roll of toilet paper for just $73 plus a free drain clearing. It flows or it's free with a money-back guarantee. Go to DuttonPlumbing.com.
Hey there, it's Tori with your hometown station weather. A very hot day today. Mostly sunny skies with highs in the 90s, overnight lows in the 60s. For anything and everything Santa Clarita Valley related, including the latest on COVID-19 here in the Santa Clarita area, go to hometownstation.com.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
The following is sponsored programming and does not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of KHTS or its ownership.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 on that AM side. This is Matt Watson, your host. You're listening to Eye on the Valley. Homeschooling Answers. Our next guests are coming to us from iLEAD Online Charter School. We've got on the line Director of Online Learning with iLEAD Schools, Erin Jones, as well as Program Coordinator from iLEAD Online, Kate Wolfe. Erin, Kate, good morning.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning. Nice to be here.
It's good to have you. Thank you guys for joining us. You know, I like to tell my guests that I cyber-stalked them before their appearances on the show, and I want to congratulate the two of you. You two have maintained a very, very small media footprint. I think the two of you need to co-teach a class on how to do so to our teenagers. So what I'm going to have you guys do is introduce yourselves. Erin, can you give our listeners just a little bit of background about your experience and maybe how you went down the path of online learning? And then Kate, we'll get to you in just a second.
Hi. Yes, Matt, it's true. Both Kate and I are not exactly social media people, so you've caught us, which is interesting because we do feel passionate, both of us, I can speak for both of us, about online learning and working online. So my particular background is 25 plus years in education, in districts, mostly high school. About 5 years ago, I moved to iLEAD charters from the district. Probably a good 20 years ago, as a classroom teacher in a large, very large, 4,000 plus student high school, I started to play around with putting content online. And this was the olden days of school servers, which was not pretty, but it was I thought, a smart way to let our kids that could access their learning from home when they weren't in the classroom. And I've slowly just transitioned from there, thought I was brilliant, and the kids thrived with that. So by the time I left the regular classroom, I had already kind of flipped my classroom, which is the term of putting your content online, and then when the kids are in the classroom, you're basically supporting them. So I've been a big advocate of this before it was really a thing, and have transitioned to full-time online schools for about the last 10 years. So you can see that I love this, and I have always seen the possibilities of freedom and flexibility for our learners and for me as a teacher. Honestly, it's kind of changed the way that you can interact with kids and take away the restrictions of time and place, which sounds very futuristic, but it's actually our reality now.
Right, I was going to say, it is our reality now, and we're so grateful to have you and the rest of your team on board at iLEAD Schools. It's been, well, remarkably helpful for several years now, but over the last couple of months, just essential. We wouldn't have been able to do what we're currently doing without you and your team. We'll talk about that in just a little bit, but I want to get to Kate Wolfe. Kate, gosh, I even went on our company's intranet looking for a picture of you that we could post and couldn't find anything there. We've got to have our staff photographer get a picture of you, Kate. Would you tell us a little bit about your background and your career and everything that you bring to iLEAD Schools?
Sure. I spent 16 years teaching in private schools and also at the community college level. And that was both in kind of traditional brick and mortar classrooms and also online at the college level. And a lot like Erin, I really realized the value in being able to offer flexibility and really rich, active resources to kids online. And I wanted to go in that direction because I felt like it was exciting. And for my own kids, when I became a parent, I wanted to be able to make space for them to enjoy the flexibility of education as well. So I think it's about 2.5 years ago now, I moved over to online, and I haven't looked back, and I love it. And I'm really excited about the direction that education is going.
Gosh, the two of you guys bring so much to the table together, and we appreciate you joining us. Now, as my listeners know, we asked you to join us today to talk about it's not summer school, it's Track C that happens to start in the summer. We'll get to that in a little bit, but I want my listeners to understand exactly what it is you guys bring to the table, because it's not your typical online learning experience. You guys do something extremely innovative. So, Erin, why don't you start by telling us a little bit about iLEAD Online as a charter school. When did you guys open? How many learners do you serve? What ages do you serve? Can you tell us about your school?
I'd love to, Matt. Thanks. We started actually as a charter school in 2017. We opened our school with a robust 3 learners on the first day of school, and we've grown steadily since. We're right sitting around 200 full-time learners within about 3 years. So we've grown quickly. That's the full-time school. We actually started up as a vendor, or like an online course publisher, if you will, that would supplemental to other schools. Other schools could use our courses and add them to their curriculum, I think around 2015. So we started off as a vendor. We grew into a school. So we have 2 different enrollment numbers I can give you. We have around 4,000 classes a semester. Kids take about 4,000 classes in our vendor program. It's much larger, obviously. Our full-time kids, again, around 200. It grows every year, which is a good sign. Our summer program, our summer track that begins July 1st each year. We have to be very clear with our language. We actually started that about 3 years ago. And that was a very tiny program again. We like to start small and see how we can get it right. And then last summer we had around a little over 300 kids, and just ballooning up in the summer months for that track.
Okay, very cool. I do think that's funny. You're always the one correcting me in regards to the summer phrasing, and now we got you. Now
I got it.
Now, your program as a vendor and then your charter school were founded on the premise that online learning could be done better than what we had in the past. Those canned courses, the kind of click-through programs, read the selection, click the multiple choice, move on. So what makes your program unique?
That's a good question, Matt. And actually, when I first met you, we were it was in this capacity where I wanted to sell you on the idea that most schools still will use online courses as a supplement for credit retrieval. Right. I feel strongly that that's not the way to go about it. When a student or a learner is not succeeding in a traditional classroom, I think the last thing you want to do is move them to an environment where they have less support. It's rare that is the right placement. On occasion it is. But for the most part, credit retrieval is something that needs more support, not less. And let me clarify what I'm saying by that. More structure. When we have success in online learning, there's a few factors. One is that the learner is motivated and they buy in. They want this environment for a variety of reasons. We have kids that excel in it. I would be, Kate would be, I know for sure, a student that would excel if this had been around back in the dark ages before internet. For me, I would have loved online school because I'm someone that loves to work ahead, get my stuff done, I would have enjoyed the freedom of the schedule. What happens in most schools is they will use something we call canned curriculum, which means it's basically online test taking, an online test-based course where you just click through. There's little to no support from an actual teacher or facilitator, as we call them in iLEAD, which is, I think, where we go wrong. So what we did with our iLEAD online courses is we emphasized and expanded the role of the teacher, of the professional, the credentialed professional, which is essential to success. We know that for classrooms, so why wouldn't that be the same for a virtual classroom? So with iLEAD Online, you get a credentialed expert in online learning and in their subject area. That support is key, absolutely. So a lot of communication, a lot of support. If you're not doing well, if you don't submit something or they don't hear from you within a week, they're calling you, they're texting you, they're calling your parents, and everyone else you can think of to get you back on board. So there's a huge safety net, and we really emphasize that, along with tutors. We have actual course tutors. We have live class sessions that Kate's worked really hard to put in place. All of our courses have a live class session to attend during the week, just to catch up or to interact. For our full-time learners, we actually have an advisory live. That means that they work with a academic coach, which is an extra layer of support that works directly with a caseload of kids to make sure that they excel in their courses.
You know, you're absolutely right about the support the kids get. You know, Erin, you talked about selling me on online learning. When I was director of the high school at SCVi is when you first started offering your services, and our high school shifted the online offerings from one of the other traditional programs to iLEAD Online. And the kids that we had enrolling in iLEAD Online were sometimes telling us that they were getting more one-on-one attention in their online classes than they were even in their on-site classrooms, where they were sharing a class with 20, 25 other learners. So the support that you provide is really comprehensive, complete. Now, do you offer the same types of classes that a site-based school would normally offer, you know, where kids can choose from different subject areas and things like that?
We do, and that's a great question. We're actually able to offer a large catalog, more than most schools can, because of the nature of the way school is structured. We have a huge catalog of different electives and some really fun classes that might not be offered if you're limited by staff and enrollment on a site, and also location. So we can have several hundred courses all happening at the same time, if that makes sense. Once you remove those barriers of time and space, like I talked about, you can have a lot. Kate would probably be able to correct me with how many courses we have, but we have a variety of extra courses that would not be able to be offered in a traditional setting, just because we could offer a class technically with one kid in it and one teacher. We have a very low ratio in our courses, and actually do think we have on occasion had a class that was just 1-to-1 because of the way that it's structured. So yes, we have the traditional algebra through geometry, English 9, English 10, etc. But we're also able to offer some really cool classes, like a guide to college apps, which is a great short course in how to write a great essay to get into college, for example. Kate can jump in because she's much better at our catalog. You think of some of the great classes we offer.
Yeah, we have a high school naturalism class. We have an entrepreneurship course where kids can learn about what it means to start and run their own business. And actually one of the culminating projects in that course allows them to kind of get out there and present their ideas if they'd like. And we have some great also lower school courses, like we have a criminal justice course and a mock trial course. And what's really cool too is that we take feedback from our learners and our families about what's wanted and needed, and we're always building courses based on the interests of our kids and our community. And I think one of the most fun things about the courses too is that it's not just reading material and then taking a test. There's lots of voice and choice. There's really cool hands-on project options where kids are actually getting away from the computer and getting inspired to do things in their homes and even in their communities to make an impact. And then they get to take pictures or upload videos for feedback from their instructors and support.
Well, that's interesting because I know some of our listeners are probably thinking, yeah, it sounds cool, it sounds innovative, we like the flexibility, but I don't want my kid to be online for 6 hours a day for their school, and they're not. With the project-based nature of your school, the kids are often offline working on their projects and they're just presenting them online. I'm looking at your website right now, and I might be counting wrong, but I think you've got 15 different foreign language classes that you offer. Yeah, the flexibility that the online structure provides you really allows you to do kind of the yes and. We offer the same courses that you would get at a traditional school and much, much more. What about the younger learners? I can see my 17-year-old just absolutely loving this program, but what about when we get to the younger ages? Because you guys are authorized kindergarten through 12th grade, are you not?
We are, and I'm going to let Kate speak to more of the specifics. We started with grades 6 through 12. Each year we've kind of added more. For Track C, July 1st start, we will be open for grades 2 through 12, and our last goal is to have kindergarten through 12 available by August of this year, and we're well on our way to that. But I'll let Kate talk about some of the great ways that we've structured our lower school.
Yeah, Kate, how would an online program full-time work for a kindergartner?
This is really exciting, actually. What we've done is we've brought in some incredible facilitators and coaches to work with our kindergartners. We've created a program called our Create Crate, where we have online experiences, which are month-long each, and all together they might meet all of the standards needed for each grade level, K, 1, 2, and 3.
So for all of the subjects?
For all of the subjects, yes. So they're all integrated. The classes are interdisciplinary, and they're project-based, and they come with that teacher support and really clear schedule or suggested guide for how a parent would work alongside of that facilitator to choose projects to work with their learner. In addition, those courses come with basically a box full of supplies and everything that the family would need to really dig in and have fun with those projects. So as a parent of a young learner, right, if I need watercolors or felt or molding clay, or one of our boxes comes with a Lego pack, then I have them at my fingertips in order to teach math and science and language arts and social science. So it's a combo of all of the really cool videos and resources that any lower school learner might need in order to get what they really need out of a program. And then in addition, our lower school facilitators offer live support, little live classes 3 times a week for an hour each time, where they can read or talk about what they've done or share their experiences and connect with each other. So there's a lot of support and there's a lot of interaction between the facilitator and the parent, and it's a lot of fun.
So it does require a bit of parent support and supervision, but they're going to have everything that they need to help them. So whether you're a teacher or not, you can absolutely do this. And I want you to imagine that it's not sitting in an hour of math class and then sitting in an hour of reading. It's this fully comprehensive project. I've had the pleasure of helping develop some of the create experiences that Kate was talking about, if that isn't a tongue twister. But imagine, rather than being in these different classes throughout the day, being out in your community and developing this fully interdisciplinary project with your child, or being in the garden and working on this fully project-based experience that is hitting all the standards. Your child's learning everything that they need to learn while they're bonding with you, while they're involved in these authentic experiences, while they're getting their hands literally dirty in this this fully integrated program, and it just happens to be everything gets submitted online. They're not in front of a computer screen all day. We're here with Erin Jones and Kate Wolfe from iLEAD Online. We do have to take a quick commercial break, but I want you to stick around. When we come back, we're not going to be talking about summer school, Erin Jones, because that's not what it is. We do want to talk with you, however, about Track C that does start early in the summer this year. We're going to take that quick commercial break. You are listening to SCVi Charter School's Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. I'm Matt Watson on your hometown station, KHTS.
Comfort Keepers provides your loved one with loving in-home care.
Miles McNamara, certified senior advisor and owner of Comfort Keepers in-home care.
Our caregivers can help you in your own home, enhancing independence, creating safety and comfort. Our Comfort Keepers provide companionship, meal preparation, medication reminders, assistance with personal care, and even transportation to doctor's appointments. If someone you love can use a helping hand at home, visit comfortkeepers.com.
Or call 287-4200.
This is Bradley Gross from Santa Clarita Grocery. Santa Clarita Grocery serves fresh groceries to families, individuals, and those experiencing homelessness. At Santa Clarita Grocery, out of every $1 donated, a full 99 cents goes directly to the needs being addressed. As an all-volunteer-led organization, we operate on a 1% overhead, receiving no government funding for our operations in the community, resulting in us being one of the most efficient charities in the Santa Clarita Valley. If you're looking to support the good for our community, please consider partnering with us by donating to Santa Clarita Grocery. What is donated is specifically kept in the Santa Clarita Valley, helping over 3,000 families, including 5 other community charities. Please visit our website, santaclaritagrocery.org, or visit us on social media or call us at 425-7575. That's 425-7575.
Save water and save money. SCVi Water wants to help you find your fit and take advantage of conservation rebate programs that will help you save. Water your landscape more efficiently. Replace your lawn with water-wise plants. Conduct free in-home water surveys. Cover your swimming pool and more. Find the programs that fit your needs and start saving today. Visit conserve.yourscvwater.com to learn more.
That's conserve.yourscvwater.com.
As the stay-at-home order continues, Burger King is committed to following state and federal safety guidelines when it comes to serving you, the customer. Although in-restaurant dining has closed, pickup and delivery service continues. The current hours are 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. You can mobile order through the BK app for pickup, or you can use any of the delivery services like DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, and Postmates. Burger King on Lyons at the 5 freeway, now with service at 2 drive-through windows.
Your hometown station.
KHTS is the only station I listen to.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 on the AM side. You're listening to Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. I'm your host, Matt Watson. We're talking this morning with Director of Online Learning, Erin Jones, and Program Coordinator, Kate Wolfe, from iLEAD Schools and iLEAD Online Charter School. And before the break, they were telling us about the exciting and innovative stuff they do with online learning. It's not click, collect your diploma. They're delivering some amazingly deep, rigorous, authentic education to kids, starting August, from kindergarten all the way through 12th grade. They're able to offer more classes than just about any typical brick and mortar high school out there, and they're able to meet the needs in a beautiful way for their youngest learners. But what I promised when we had them on is that we would talk about Track C. So, Erin, I understand that you're offering classes that start in the summer. It's not summer school, remember. Can you give us some details about Track C? What is it and what's going on? How do we get enrolled if we'd like?
Great question, Matt. Track C begins July 1st, and then we have Track A. I know it doesn't make sense, but those are our 2 tracks. There is no B.
So when you talk about that, it flashes me back to my days working for LA Unified when we had the different rotational schedules that overlapped, and we had some kids that started, July 1st, and other kids that started maybe late August, early September. That's kind of the same system that you guys have. You've got kids that are starting July 1st, right?
That's absolutely right. Yes, when
Okay.
I began my career, also we had a multi-track school system to try. It was due to overcrowding. This is for flexibility. We have 2 tracks. One begins July 1st each year, and then one begins our more traditional track begins in August, and that's our track A. Our track C begins July 1st, and what we've designed for our track C is a way for learners to work on one course at a time at an accelerated pace. This works really well if you want to enroll for a short period. For many reasons, we have some learners that come to us throughout the year, not just beginning July 1st, that they need an option for independent study for many reasons, health-related, travel-related. They do sometimes enroll with us for a short period. An accelerated pace means that you can work on one course at a time if you choose. In roughly around 3 weeks, we have it paced. We have an entire year paced out where you could do every class you need to in one school year, but one at a time. There are several learners that really excel in this, being able to focus and do one thing well and not multitask. We also have our traditional track A, which is your regular schedule of technically 5 to 6 courses at a time. So we have both options. We kind of like to get to know the kid and see where they will excel. But for our track C, it's worked really well to work on one course at a time, beginning July 1st. So let's say you wanted to enroll July 1st. Technically, you could get a course done by the end of July. And if you needed more than one course done, you could continue. And we have several kids that enroll with us for that period. iLEAD Online serves kids from all over. I mean, literally all over. We've even had international kids enroll with us.
Oh, wow.
We have kids that enroll in the Southern California area, outside Southern California, like Northern or San Diego. And nationally, we've had kids from other states on the East Coast. So literally all over the place we have learners, which is really cool and really exciting. The way that it works, though, as a charter school is we can enroll tuition-free any students that live within our boundaries, which are Los Angeles, Kern, Orange, Ventura, and San Bernardino counties. If you live in one of those counties, you can enroll tuition-free. And we do have quite a few learners that go to another school most of the year, and they enroll with us when they have a gap and they're not enrolled somewhere else. If you live in one of those counties that I listed, you can enroll tuition-free. I did mention that we have kids that are enrolling from outside of those boundaries. There's a fee for courses. They're still accredited NCAA UC-approved courses. So we do have kids that purchase those courses the way you would from other vendors.
So you've kind of hit all of my follow-up questions right there in one. That is fantastic. So pretty much anyone in Southern California can enroll. And now here's one. Will they get credit? So let's say I'm going to another area high school, and I'm just kind of pulling this one out of the air. I'm enrolled in Granada Hills High School, but we're about ready to go on summer vacation. Can I enroll for a month or two, take a class or two, and then go back to Granada Hills in the fall? And if so, will those classes count for credit back at my home high school?
Yes, you can enroll. Any learner can enroll with us at any time during the year. And when they leave, they will get a transcript from our school, which, as I mentioned, is WASC accredited, UC approved, NCAA courses, which I know are important to our listeners that are in high school.
Yep.
You do get a transcript if you're in lower school as well. But those kind of credits and transcripts, all that stuff usually applies mostly to high school. But yes, to answer your question, absolutely. As long as you're not enrolled at another school at the same time, meaning that school is not in session. You cannot be enrolled in 2 schools at once. In those cases, we actually do have learners that take our courses during the regular school while they maybe are at Granada Hills, but they want to take an extra course. Maybe they decided to take a foreign language that's not offered at their school, for example. They can take our course, then it's for a fee, and then you still get a transcript and it still goes to your high school. So the real main difference is Is it tuition free? The answer is yes, as long as you're not enrolled in anywhere else and you live in the counties where our charter is located. And if you are not, then you can still take our courses for credit with a transcript, but it will be for a fee.
Wow, so it's just as long as I'm in one of those 5 or 6 different counties that you mentioned, I can actually take these courses for free. I don't have to pay for them. That is amazing. And now, with the Track C session that starts July 1st, is it going to be your full catalog that's offered? Is it a limited catalog, a limited group of courses that are available? What kind of classes are kids able to take?
I'm going to give that to Kate because I know she was just meeting this morning about that, so she's going to be the most up-to-date answer on that.
Sure. So most of the classes that are available during the year are available for Track C. We do have some slight changes, but all of that information is on our website. And we do also have AP and CTE classes available for Track C and also Track A, which is really exciting. But I would say the biggest difference for Track C is that we have some really exciting lower school experiences that we're launching for the first time, and I think that they're going to be a lot of fun. They're interdisciplinary, so they cover all the subjects, and they're just enjoyable. They give the kids everything they need to kind of feel like they're learning and they're engaged, but without being stressful. So for our 2 second and third graders, we have Junk Debunked, which is a short class all about transforming trash and natural materials into treasure, so recycling and conservation themes. And then for our 4th and 5th graders, we have a study of planets called Take Me to Your Leader, where they get to kind of create their own civilization on a planet and learn about our solar system at the same time. For our 6, 7, it's all about physics and superheroes. And then we have a 7, 8 that is all about young citizens developing community action skills. And there's a project at the end and lots of really enriching options for learning and resources for those kiddos. And it still allows for time for lower school kids, if they want, to also add on a language course or an elective.
Oh, wow. So, you know, now where we've all shifted to distance learning and we're all kind of learning online one way or another, families in the past that would have never considered online learning as an option, you know, whether it's because they think their student is too young or that it's not engaging enough, they've had this opportunity to kind of get their feet wet a little bit with it. But I love that this Track C and being able to take 1 or 2 courses over the summer allows them to maybe stretch a little bit. As families that are saying, you know, maybe this might work for my child, maybe this is the way that they need to learn, or they are comfortable with it, then they can jump into Track C starting July and see what our school's all about. We at our site-based schools, we offer shadow days. We can actually kind of shadow your program, experiment with your program for a month or 2 this summer. That would be great. But Kate, you missed the perfect opportunity to plug your website. Go on the website, check out the catalog. What is the website there, Kate?
It is iLEADonline.org. And I will say, as a parent, for any parents who feel a little bit apprehensive about taking on education, these classes are great because they give you a roadmap and teacher support. So you get to have fun with your kids, and everything's at your fingertips without getting overwhelmed with like a Google search of what the standards are for my child's age or what are some fun activities. They're all right there for you.
Fantastic. So producer Sarah's already got your link on the Facebook live feed here at KHTS. So if you're looking for a link to click on, it is there. But I can't imagine a website easier than that, iLEADonline.org. So we mentioned about how things are just shifting, and now we're all sort of forcibly, if you will, experimenting with a new paradigm in education. I want to throw this question out to both of you, Erin, Kate. How do you think or how do you hope that education will be changed after all this is over, once we move into, I don't know what it is, phase 4, phase 5, and we're able to get back to school? Shane and I, our engineer, were talking about this earlier today. How do you guys think or hope that education will change as a result of our global experience here?
I'd love to answer this. I think what Kate and I and others at our school have been advocating is a change in thinking to the way education is structured. And what my absolute hope for is that we move away from a very narrow traditional thinking of time-based, seat-based education and free ourselves from those limitations. So one of the measures that we have in independent studies in our school is that we're steered towards project-based and product-based learning, right? If that makes more sense. So it isn't, the question we don't ask our learners is how much time did you spend sitting in your class today? That's irrelevant in a lot of ways. What we want to see is what can you produce, what can you show us of our learning? And I think that should apply to a traditional site-based school as well, as we shift away from this. I mean, honestly, the whole world, work-based everywhere, the whole shift could be away from time to results-oriented work. And that gets me more excited because I think that frees us up. It changes our thinking. It opens up possibilities that weren't there before. So I get excited talking about that because I think that it really could affect more than just school. But I've always been frustrated with the limitations of the bell schedule, right?
Yep.
And I know you know me, Matt, so I get frustrated with that. Like, no, it doesn't have to be that way. If we really talk about personalized learning and letting kids thrive, we can take away this time factor. Some kids need more time. This allows for that. And you mentioned briefly like a deeper connection with the facilitator of a course online. That's surprising. It surprised me greatly when I first started online teaching. When I had a class of 30 to 40 kids in a big impacted high school, I didn't realize how many of them I never talked to. We had an hour or 55 minutes technically with all those kids. One or two would be outspoken and dominate the discussion. I never got a chance to really connect or hear from the quiet ones, which I tend to be if I was in the class. But now it's completely changed. A lot of those kids that were technically the quiet ones will write long emails or messages, and we can go back and forth without having to worry about the bell ringing and no time. Or a line for the teacher. I would have a line at the teacher desk of kids waiting to talk to me. It was silly, but that's kind of how it was. We had time and a restriction, and that's not there anymore. And I know Kate can speak to this too, that we have more in-depth, meaningful relationships with the kids in a different way. Absolutely.
And so hopefully we can, as an entire, this juggernaut of education, we can move in that direction. Kate, have you got anything else? Erin kind of said a mouthful there. What do you think we're going to move into, or do you think we're just going to head back to the way we've always done things?
I mean, I would hope that, and this is kind of along the same lines as Erin was saying, that we make room for different ways to learn, because we're all different people, right? And that's kind of what makes us beautiful as a society, is that we all come with different things to bring to the table. And so I would hope that we would make room for that same experience in learning, that kids who learn in different ways with different needs, whether it's time, whether it's what they're learning or how they're learning, that we can make space for that and value those differences equally, that there's not just one answer to how a child is supposed to learn in one space. And I think that now we've all been kind of forced to look at learning in a different way, and I hope that we take that away from the experience. You know, if there's a kid who has a passion for, you know, it's easy for me to say, for horses, right? How can they learn science through that lens, right? And how can we give them everything they need and really allow them to explore their passions and their own style of how they need to be engaged?
Absolutely, and it gives them the opportunity to explore those passions and decide what they are and aren't passionate about. You know, oftentimes we talk about how in college, yeah, you have the opportunity to try several different things, but you feel the pressure of career and sometimes student debt mounting. It can be really difficult, but if our kids are experimenting with their passions and getting involved in them early on, they can develop multiple passions and then, like I said, decide which ones work best for them. Erin, you hit on something really important as you were talking about the bell schedules and doing time versus quality of work. I thought about industry, and that's the way industry used to work in many cases 100, 150 years ago. There was a bell or a whistle that called us to work, a bell or a whistle that well, shoot, Fred Flintstone was the one that was always listening to the whistle. And that's the way our time was logged professionally, but now it's quality based. It's how productive you are, and that's the way our schools should be shifting as well. Ladies, I want to thank you so much. I'm sure our families that are listening appreciate the information. Again, if you're interested in Track C, whether it's short-term just over the summer or continuing on long-term with us, go to iLEADonline.org and for more information. Erin and Kate, thanks again for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. We're going to take that last commercial break. Please stay tuned. We do have Christina Debray, our show's official licensed and marriage and family therapist, that'll be joining us next. You are listening to SCVi Charter Schools, Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. I'm Matt Watson on your hometown station, KHTS.
The best live theater can be found right here in the Santa Clarita Valley. The Canyon Theater Guild has been entertaining audiences for decades with top quality musicals and plays. Located on Main Street in Old Town Newhall, CTG also offers workshops for the young actor in your family. For more information, call the box office at 799-2702 or go online to canyontheater.org.
As the stay-at-home order continues, Burger King is committed to following state and federal safety guidelines when it comes to serving you, the customer. Although in-restaurant dining has closed, pickup and delivery service continues. The current hours are 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. You can mobile order through the BK app for pickup, or you can use any of the delivery services like DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, and Postmates. Burger King on Lyons at the 5 freeway, now with service at 2 drive-through windows.
We all know sometimes people lose their way. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, the Way Out Recovery SCVi may have the answers you've been waiting for. The Way Out is the premier intensive outpatient treatment center serving Santa Clarita. Asking for help is the first step. Call The Way Out today, 661-296-4444. That's 296-4444 for a private free assessment. The Way Out is an accredited, affordable outpatient program that accepts most insurance. Call us at 661-296-4444 or check us out online at thewayoutrrecoveryscv.com. Quit battling with yourself. Ask The Way Out for help today.
Your hometown station, KHTS.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 on that AM side. This is Matt Watson, and you're listening to Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. As we always are at the end of the show, we're joined now by Christina Debray, a licensed marriage and family therapist, who's got a remarkable story of resilience and determination. You know, you need to get to know Christina, and once we're able to get back, maybe shifting into that phase 3 or 4, sit down and have a cup of coffee with her, have a glass of wine with her, and ask her to tell you her story of just undaunted courage and determination is truly inspiring. And she's been able to parlay the obstacles that she's had thrown at her literally her entire life. She's parlayed that into an amazing career as a therapist who specializes in trauma and resilience. She's got so many more areas of expertise, as well as dealing with suicide prevention and child and adolescent intervention, abuse, just so many different things that she offers her clients. She's a graduate of Cal State Northridge and Pepperdine University. Her practice is here in Valencia, but like most of us these days, she's performing that online. So even if you're not local in Valencia, you can jump online and get a session with Christina. She's got more than 18 years speaking experience with all different kinds of groups. Christina, good morning. How are you doing today?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. We have had an exciting show. I haven't even had to dip too deeply into my coffee with everything going on today. Christina, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I'm really looking forward to hitting this hard. You know, I've got a passion for kind of destigmatizing mental health. We've got all these other areas of health that we do such a good job taking care of. We take care of our eyes, we take care of our teeth, we take care of our body, but we don't take care of ourselves often enough. And so we're going to go ahead and continue to just bang the pulpit on this one. Yesterday you were talking about the second wave of this pandemic that we're in, the depression that we're already starting to see. We're reading some sad and some scary news stories. People are dealing with a lot of different things related to the first wave of the pandemic, the COVID virus, whether it's unfortunately lives lost, people dealing with illness, but then the other related issues that can be just as traumatic, the economic issues, people losing jobs, people losing different things that come with that reduction in income. And even if we haven't suffered those things, which are extremely traumatic, we've all gone through this global trauma. I was listening to something on the news talking about how the massive majority of us are going through stress, anxiety, levels that take us into that area of trauma. So let's start by talking about depression. You talked about that, this trauma leads to depression. Can you explain to our listeners what depression actually is? What is depression, Christina?
So depression, clinical depression is represents a certain set of symptoms. And those symptoms can be anything from, a change in mood, like anxiety, apathy, general discomfort, guilt, hopelessness, loss of interest in things you normally enjoy, sadness. You might feel, we call it psychomotor agitation or retardation. So you can either be super fidgety or just very catatonic, like you're not moving at all and just have to sit in bed all day. Excessive crying, irritability, restlessness, social isolation, which, that's what we're all doing right now.
Right.
Waking up early, difficulty sleeping too much, excessive hunger, fatigue, loss of appetite, difficulty concentrating. And so if you have these symptoms that are persisting for more than 14 days, that's when you really want to think about reaching out and talking with a mental health professional, because 80% of depressed people can be successfully treated in 12 to 20 weeks. And with EMDR therapy, I've seen that can even be shorter than that.
Okay. Christina, you talk about if you've been experiencing any of these symptoms for 14 days or more, then it's probably time to start thinking about reaching out to someone. And I'm thinking about our listeners sitting there thinking, Christina, we've been essentially at home for coming up on 8 weeks now. Isn't that all of us or most of us that are presenting these different symptoms of anxiety, of depression? Is it really, people may think it's not time to get treatment. That's just normal right now.
The unfortunate reality is that, normal doesn't always mean healthy.
Right.
And this is, something that I learned, growing up in hospitals with cystic fibrosis. The norm was that we all had PTSD, depression, anxiety, and just because that's normal doesn't mean we shouldn't seek treatment for it.
Yeah, definitely. So if you're thinking, well, yeah, of course I've been presenting these symptoms of depression for a couple of weeks now, aren't we all? You know what? The answer might be, yeah, a lot of us are. And so a lot of us need to start making those connections. If it's been a while since you've had I make the reference with a dentist a lot. If it's been a while since you've seen your dentist, you probably should call him and make an appointment. If you're struggling with these symptoms, you need to call someone. Call your healthcare provider and say, hey, I'm not really sure about this, but I'd like to talk to someone, work some things out. Christina, that's why I love what you do. You offer that free 15-minute phone consultation where you can direct people, where our listeners can pick up the phone, give you a call and say, hey, I've been locked inside. I'm not happy about it. I'm not sure if I'm depressed. Will you help talk to me for a few minutes? they can call you at 661-513-4857. Again, call Christina at 661-513-4857. You can hop on her website at ChristinaDebray.com.